Hey there, and welcome back to my channel, Weirdly O.C.D. So as promised from my last short update video, this is a video where I'm going to be talking about Tony and I's wedding ceremony and our reception. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to throw in photos while I'm talking to you about it, so that way you can see those while I'm telling you about the day. So Tony and I got married on September 21st of this year, so a little under a month ago. We have been together for over 7 years, and we've been engaged since 2015. So it was a kind of lengthy engagement, but that's okay. You do it when the time is right. For you as a couple and financially. And before I go any further, I will show you, this is our wedding ring. We both have the same exact ring. And even though we did not plan it, it has 7 diamonds on the top, which we kind of feel like symbolizes the 7 years we were together before we got married. So I thought that was kind of cool. We didn't plan it, like I said, but it's just how it turned out. So that's what we're going to go with. But we decided at the very beginning of this year that this was going to be the year that we got married. So once we decided that we were going to do it, my parents were completely 110% on board with helping us out as far as planning the ceremony. Well, not really the ceremony, but the reception. As well as, thankfully, pretty much financially doing the whole thing for us. The only thing we really had to do was make the guest list, get the invitations, buy the invitations, send them out, decide what food we wanted at the reception, make a song list for the reception, and get our marriage license. And that was pretty much it. Everything else was taken care of by my parents. They took care of the food that was absolutely amazing. They took care of the location for the reception. They took care of the DJ, the photographer. So that was really, really nice not to have to worry about a lot of the bigger things. So I actually took 12 days off of work for this. No, we did not go anywhere for a quote-unquote honeymoon, but we are, however, planning on going somewhere maybe around end of February, early March, right after we get our refund tax back, just because if we go somewhere, one, I don't think it will be as busy as it would this time of year or earlier this year, and two, we will have a good amount more money to be able to go to some place that we really want to go to and not pick some place just because it's really cheap and close for us. So that's the plan with that. We have a couple places narrowed down, but nothing picked out quite yet. So I took 12 days off of work, as I said, and my first day off work, I actually just pretty much kind of cleaned up the house, tidied it up, things like that. I did have full intentions of doing kind of a 2 or 3 part deep clean video series for you guys in preparation of this. But I also thought I was going to have a couple days before we got married to do that, but unfortunately I didn't. I had one day, which was Wednesday. We got married on that Saturday, but here's what was happening. So Wednesday, I did some final touch-up cleaning. Thursday, we went and drove 2.5 hours to get Tony's brother, who unfortunately was the only family member of Tony's to come to the ceremony. And I cannot thank his brother enough that he came and supported not only his brother, but us as a couple, our marriage, and also for standing up with him as his best man at the ceremony. So Thursday we went to pick up his brother. Um, Came back, kind of had a small dinner together here at the house. And then Friday, Tony had a couple friends from his hometown come up here. We hung out with them. Also, that Friday, we ended up getting new living room furniture delivered. The couch that we had was an okay couch, but it needed to go. And especially since we were going to have a lot of friends and family in the house, I kind of wanted it to look its best. So we decided to do rent-to-own living room suite with a love seat, a couch, full couch, and a chair. It didn't come with end tables or anything like that. We didn't need them. We already have them, and they're still in good condition, and we like them. So I was a little worried the furniture wasn't going to get delivered in time for the ceremony, for people to, one, see it, and two, it would have been additional furniture for people to sit on during the ceremony, because our wedding was actually held here at the house. But thankfully it did show up Friday. So we had that, and we hung out with Tony's couple friends and his brother that day. Kind of showed them around town. I did a little running around myself. So that was pretty much and then Friday evening we went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant here, which was really, really good. So then we get to the next day, Saturday, the big day. We didn't do really too much in the morning. We kind of all woke up. Me, Tony, his brother, and his two friends, which I consider really good friends now too. I have for years. They're great people. We kind of just got up, chit-chatted in the living room, had coffee, and kind of just hung out and kept it low-key until people started arriving. I kind of started setting up the living room a little bit before people came. So the ceremony was at 2:30, and we actually started having people arriving around 12:30, quarter to 1, which was a little earlier than I was expecting, but that's okay. My mom was a bit worried we were not going to fit everybody into our living room for the ceremony, which we did, thankfully. We didn't get everybody in the living room. Some people had to stay in the dining room and watch through the spindled opening that we have, but that's fine. You could still see everything perfectly. So my mom made some appetizers for people to kind of snack on between the ceremony and the reception, because there was about an hour and a half between both. Honestly, our wedding ceremony was very, very simple. A friend of mine from work, and a co-worker, of course, her wife was the one who married us. Her wife was an ordained minister. So she did the honor of performing our ceremony. It was very simple. It was maybe 5 to 6 minutes long. I wrote the ceremony myself because Tony and I wanted specific things in the ceremony. We didn't really want the traditional, do you take da-da-da-da for rich or poor, better, da-da-da-da-da. We kind of wrote out what we wanted. We went over it, made sure it's exactly what we wanted. We agreed it was, and that's what she read off. Excuse me. We did have a guy that we had come over about a month before. Interviewed him. He's an ordained minister as well. Great guy, very friendly, very upbeat, very energetic and enthusiastic, but I think he was a little too enthusiastic, and I don't know, he kind of wanted us to do I don't know what I want to call it, homework for our wedding ceremony. He wanted us each to send him a separate email telling him how we met, and the first time we knew that the other one was the one for us. And he said he wanted to interject a little bit of comedy into the ceremony, and we're like, no, this isn't a three-ring circus. This isn't supposed to be funny. This isn't some stand-up, comedy hour. This is a serious, wedding ceremony. So, not to mention he was charging a little bit more than we thought. Um, than we thought. So we decided not to go with him. So that's why we went with the lady that we did. She was very, I'll do whatever you want me to do. If you want me to read directly from this paper, I will read directly from this paper, which is exactly what she did. So, like I said, the wedding ceremony was only about 5 or 6 minutes long. Tony's brother Gary had their dog, their Pomeranian, holding her. I'm sorry, it's a girl. During the ceremony, standing up there with us, so that was kind of cute and whatnot. And then Cosmo, our dog, was actually standing up there, kind of in between Tony and I, and we didn't even purposely call her up there to be with us or, take her up there with us. She just came up by herself and sat there in between us. And it was funny because when the lady who was performing the wedding ceremony would stop to take a breath or go to read the next line, I could hear our dog. And I was trying not to laugh because, it's a serious moment, but I thought it was cute that both dogs were kind of part of the ceremony, but not an intricate part of it, but they were there to share in the experience. So we had the wedding ceremony. I didn't cry. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not. Tony did. But you know what? That's okay. It's a very special time. It's a very special moment. It's taking our relationship to the next level. So, as I said, his brother stood up for him as his best man. I asked my father to stand up for me as my best man. We had a very good group of people here for our ceremony. We only asked really our closest friends and our family members to join us in that. So after the ceremony, we just kind of mingled here at the house for a little bit because the reception didn't start till 4. Around that time, we went down the street to the local bowling alley where they had a banquet room, which is where we had the reception. It was beautifully decorated. My mom and my grandma, and I don't honestly know if anybody else had a hand in it. I'm sure my dad did, but they decorated it beautifully. There will be pictures of that in here as well. And everything will be labeled so you know what is what. But it looked really, really great. We walked in. We only had a couple things planned for the ceremony, really. We had our first dance planned as a couple, and we actually asked all the couples in the room to come up and dance with us during our first dance, but nobody did. Which, it is what it is, it was fine. We danced to Christina Perri's song 1,000 Years. And then after that, I actually asked my parents to come up, and I just kind of gave a very short 1-minute speech about how they've been such an inspiration to us and especially to me, because my parents have been married for over 35 years. They're best friends. They do everything together. They still, go on. They have date nights. They go out. And they're just a great example of what a marriage really should be. So I called them up there, told them that, and then I had the DJ play a song by Elvis Presley called Can't Help Falling in Love, because Elvis Presley is my mom's all-time #1 favorite singer. So I thought that was very fitting for the occasion and for the reason I was having them dance by themselves to that. After that, it was pretty much mingling around, seeing everybody, visiting with the people that showed up. I really tried to get to everybody. I think I pretty much did get to everybody there and talk to everybody for at least probably 5 minutes each. So that was nice to catch up with people I hadn't seen in months or years even. After about maybe an hour and a half or so, we ate. We kind of had a buffet, There was fried chicken. There was ham, salad, meatballs. I can't think. Mashed potato or au gratin potatoes. I'm sorry. Um, and then for dessert, Tony and I had our own smaller, like tiramisu cake, and then everybody else could pick from 3 different flavored cupcakes. Um, so that was nice. We did have a cash bar for people who wanted to drink. Um, and then we had a little area for people if they wanted to dance, which honestly nobody really danced until almost the end of it. And the first 2 people to get up there and dance were my 85-year-old grandfather and my mom. And my grandpa danced like he was 20 years old. It thoroughly impressed me. But that was a really good time. So once that was all said and done, we cleaned up everything. Me, Tony, his brother, and his 2 friends came back here to the house, and we decided we weren't sure if we were going to go ahead and open gifts and cards here or wait till the next day or whatever, but we thought, you know what, it's like only 8:15 or whatever, let's just go ahead and do it. And I cannot tell you how overwhelmingly blessed we were with what we had received from our friends and family. I was beyond floored with how gracious everybody was. And not that anybody had to get us anything, honestly. I was just happy with the amazing turnout that we had at the reception and seeing the people that we had seen there. Like I said, I hadn't seen any of them in years. And there were honestly people there that I sent an invitation to that I honestly thought, they're probably not going to end up coming, and they did. But as I said, everybody was extremely gracious when it came to gifts and cards and things like that. So we opened that and everything. Sunday morning, the following morning, me, Tony, his brother, his 2 friends, my parents, my grandparents, and a few cousins, we all went out to eat for breakfast to this place that I've been to several times. Tony had never been there, and now he regrets never going when I would ask him before, because he thought the food was absolutely amazing, which it is. It's a local place here. It's not a national chain or everything, and everything there is homemade. It's like buffet. And you could have picked from the breakfast buffet or the lunch buffet. And he thought it was amazing. And so I'm sure he will definitely now agree to go there again. But then we came back here after we ate. Tony's brother and his 2 friends went back home. And then later that evening, Tony and I went over to my parents' house to hang out with some of my cousins, my parents, my grandparents. We played some Uno, had some coffee, things like that. Got some great family pictures, which I'll include those here as well. And that was pretty much it. We said our goodbyes, and then we kind of went back to normal life. I mean, I was still on vacation for a week after that. So we kind of just hung out at home. We went and did a couple fun things here in town. I don't think went grocery shopping for 2 weeks after we got married because of all the restaurant and food gift cards we had received. So that was nice. But all in all, I'm so glad that Tony and I did this. It was very much overdue, and I'm so glad that we are now at this next level in our relationship. Now we're not just dating. We're not just engaged, we are married. I am somebody's husband. And I knew when I was younger that I wanted to get married one day. But now it's happened. It's a reality, and I am so happy and thankful for it. I've married my best friend. I've married someone that I get along with greatly. Do we have our tiffs once in a while? Sure. What couple doesn't? But you know what? At the end of the day, when we go to bed and lay our heads down on our pillows, we're great with each other. We're happy. We have a great life. We are so blessed. We have a home. We have an amazing dog that we love so much. We have each other. and I don't think really there's anything else you could ask for. But with that, that is today's video. I hope you greatly enjoyed me telling you the story of our wedding. I hope you greatly enjoyed the pictures. I'm not sure if I'll put them in through the video or at the end with like some music in the background. Haven't decided that quite yet, but I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or any comments. Give this a thumbs up if you'd like to, and I will see you all very soon, getting back into our normal cleaning and organization routine. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.